Time now for our rants and raves, starting with Dan.
I have a rave for a hyperlocal website called Berkeleyside that has taken an unusual approach to raising money for its journalism. They sold shares of the site to the public. They call it a direct public offering instead of an initial public offering. 355 people put up the money to buy $1 million worth of the site, and they're using the money to hire another full-time reporter and make some technical improvements to the site and improve some of their programs.
How are they going to get any money back?
Well, you know, as the site grows, these may be shares that you can buy and sell as you would with the shares of any other company. So it's a promising new. There are many new models for trying to do business in this challenging environment. This is another one.
All right, Lila.
My rave is for ProPublica.org. They had two must-reads out this week. One's actually a three-part package on how illegal immigration and the crackdown is affecting the state of Pennsylvania. And the other is actually an edition of their Trump Inc. podcast. So the president has very publicly proclaimed that he is worth $10 billion. But quietly, his organization has been suing different localities, saying that his various properties are worth less than they've been assessed at, so he shouldn't have to pay as much in taxes. It's pretty fascinating. You've got big properties on the waterfront in Chicago, which he says are worthless. You've got smaller towns that normally wouldn't put up a fight, would just settle and say, okay, it's not worth as much as we said. All of a sudden, several of them are saying, well, maybe this is worth investing in. This is worth a fight. Now, let's see how this plays out. It's just a fascinating, data-driven look at some of the numbers behind the scenes.
Kelly.
Well, I have a rave for a newspaper in Canada called the West End Phoenix. It's started by a Canadian rock star who I did not know, Dave Bedini. And they got up to 2,100 people as subscribers. But here's the fun thing about it. They have people to deliver the paper. They deliver it to you, to your house. And 3 of the delivery people work for other newspapers because they want to, and big newspapers like, you know, the Globe and Mail and the Toronto Star. They want to see this effort continue. So Bedini says if they get to 3,200 subscribers, they're sustainable. People are really interested in this. It's hyper-local. And these guys, and they're all guys, the 3 that are from other newspapers who are delivering the papers, say, you know, this is another way to make sure that coverage happens.
That's great.
I love that, too.
Yeah,
I think it's great. Yeah.
All right, Adam.
I want to rave for a documentary series on Netflix that I've been spending some time with lately. It's called Wild, Wild Country. I think we have a little bit of the trailer, so let's take a look at that, and then I'll talk more.
We call upon the governor to disarm this cult's army now.
If the government does decide to get you, they're going to get you.
Who would poison a whole town?
The Rajneeshis set a stage for a big outbreak to influence the election.
They had no evidence.
They were facing immigration fraud, smuggling.
The Rajneeshis came this close to murdering a presidential appointee.
Wow. So some of you probably remember the Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, who set up shop in Oregon in the mid-'90s. A lot of tensions with locals. People were concerned about another Jonestown. It turned into this massive confrontation between local and state and federal government and this religious group. We didn't see the Bhagwan himself in that clip, but this series is basically a true crime style recounting of what happened. I think I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through it. Completely riveting viewing, and very, very good in particular because the takeaway at this point, at least where I am, it's ambiguous. Sometimes you feel like the cult members or religious group members, like they're getting a raw deal from intolerant locals. Sometimes you feel like they're a flat-out menace, and you can't believe that they're getting a foothold here in this part of rural Oregon. It's just really interesting, ambiguous.
Are they still there?
Thought-provoking. I don't believe they are, although I think his movement is still extant.
I remember those.
Is this a journalistic thing, or who did it? Or
I mean, I can't remember the names of it. I hate it when you do that to me. Put me on the spot like that.
I'd say yes, it's a documentary.
Some brothers did it.
No,
I can't
some
blank
people
on
do
their names.
documentaries.
But yeah, I would call it a journalistic documentary.
Wild Country.
Okay.
And the video, again, of
Yeah, it's
this cult of them in India, of them in Oregon. The man himself, who you can tell is extremely charismatic. It's fascinating stuff.
All right, finally, I have a rave that's kind of in general, but I'll pick on the Boston Globe. And this is for this constant coverage of these brawls. I mean, the brawl the other night was an embarrassment. It was just the fact that grown men, their first instinct is to jump off a bench and start swinging and pounding at each other. It's just beyond I just don't understand that. But then we promote it. Oh, it's just what we needed, to feed the rivalry between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Really? Is that really what we needed?
No.
I mean, don't the Red Sox ratings do just fine? Doesn't Yes TV do just fine? I think they do. I find it embarrassing, and I don't comprehend it. I don't comprehend it.
I was kicking myself for going to bed when I found out about it.
Well, you can always watch it again.
So do you get pumped when that happens in a game?
Absolutely.
As a Red Sox? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Do you throw like air punches or anything like that? Nice.
All right. Well, finally tonight, normally we reserve this for the end of the year, but two really, really important icons at WBZ TV died this week. One was Tony Pepper, who was anchorman in the 70s. There he is with Jack Williams. He was really, he had a peppery personality, too. He was... And then he went on to do WRKO radio after that. He died this week at the age of 79. And then, of course, legendary WBZ reporter Charlie Austin, who, broke barriers of all sorts, one of the first African-American reporters. But really his legacy was his trust, his endearing ability to cross all kinds of lines with people of all shapes, colors, sizes, and creeds. Charlie Austin died at the age of 73.